Welcome to the Metal Prognosis. My name is Lee, and on today's video we are highlighting the bass guitar. And I got recommended a VST plugin or program called Duality by Audio Assault. So let's plug that in, let's do a quick tour together and see how it's all laid out and how it's all set up, and then we'll always have a bit of a jam and have a chat about it afterwards. So let's get everything set up and let's start having some fun. Now we have everything set up ready to go. Let's grab this beast and arm the track. So we're going to be rocking the bass track there. That's what we're rocking so far. Pretty raw, pretty cool. I'm normally a big fan of nice, just raw, grunty bass. But that's not what we're here for this video. So let's bring up, where are you? Duality. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. All right, let's see what we've got. So straight off the bat. That's cool. So straight away we start to hear its characteristics immediately. Let's do a quick run through and see what's happening here. So, like a lot of Audio Assault stuff, we've got the gate, the in and out up here, which is, I like how they put gates on there, that's really cool. So what have we got here? Drive, so this looks like the bass drive, okay. Okay, when you turn it on, stuff happens. All right, so this looks like all different pedals you can use and different mods, which is pretty cool. That's interesting that it doesn't pop up unless you have it on. That's all right. We've got an amp section here with 3 different channels. Let's have a quick listen to the 3 different channels. So definitely some slight characteristic changes there, that's cool. I'm sure they'll have a lot more effect when it's matched up and chained with everything else. Got some crunch, always cool. Some sub, always cool. And mix, that's really cool. Was there a mix in the drivers? Oh, that's, all right, got to give them, I should really own a hat so I can put it on and tip it off to them, because that is really cool. The fact that you can put a blend in how much characteristics you want out of each different section into it. Because a lot of the time I love to really push the grind out of the bass, but in saying that you lose a lot of the bottom end and the defineness and the richness. So the fact that you've got a mix here to be able to blend it in to still keep that original tone is very rad. Got different cabs, so it comes with a decent amount of different microphones and speakers here, which is really cool. And they've used 2 of them, so you can actually match them together, which is pretty rad. Big fan of that, and I think that's the way a lot of, it's kind of become the standard now, having 2 different type of IRs that you can kind of splice together. I can't see a phase button to check them to see what is actually being taken out of it. It could be here, but straight off the bat, yeah, I can't quite see it, but that's all right. This is the first time looking through it. And then we have effects of nothing. So right click, there we go. So we've got 6 different effects you can have on here. So EQ, that's cool. Compressor, I don't know what this is. What is this? Bypass, drive, mid, all right, that's cool. That's cool. Delay, always fun on bass. Reverb, and chorus I think is a very underutilized effect you can use on bass to really help thicken it up and really help it push, not so much through the mix, but add to the actual mix, especially with drums. Now, it always comes down to whatever the song calls for, but I definitely find that to be underutilized. So it's awesome they actually put it in here, because one that's actually designed and catered around the bass frequencies, it's very rad. Okay, so without going, like, there's heaps here, but I'm going to kind of need to go a little bit backwards and forwards to do it, or not. Let's use some presets and let's see what presets they got. Destruction, that sounds awesome straight off the bat. So let's see what destruction is. So destruction 1. That's cool. Bit of drop in volume, but that's no problem. Destruction 2. That's nice and broken up, I like that. Destruction 3. Yeah, that's cool. Let's try 4 while we're just here. Now that is super. I've got a couple of things going on here, so let's have a quick play around with this while we've got it. So firstly, as we can see here on the meter, hopefully the screen's capturing it, we've got a lot of hiss coming through. But we haven't even touched the gate yet, so let's engage the gate and keep pushing. All right, so that's got rid of the audibleness of it. So let's see how much, if it actually takes away too much of the actual tone and the sound. That's pretty clean. Yeah, that gate works really well. So what have we got running through this with this destruction? Amp is on channel 3. I don't know what that represents, but represents something cool. Yeah, a lot of sub coming through, a lot of crunch. Gain is pushed and bass, not much mids and highs. So before we go, that might be cool actually to come back and just tweak that a little bit. Actually, firstly, let's see cabs. It's only got one cab on at the moment. So let's see what it sounds like if we... Yeah, so it definitely makes a difference adding that in. It seems really subtle at first until you do a comparison. So, cool. Yeah, there's a decent amount going on here with its EQ and its gain staging. They've got a gain stacking, I think is the best way to describe it there, and a chorus to help thicken it up. And not much in the mix, or a decent amount, 33% in the mix. That's decent, but yeah, it definitely helps thicken it up. So let's hear what they think of metal. So firstly, we get the hiss back because as soon as we change it, the gate turns down. That's okay. Cool, let's go middle 2. Not too bad. Yeah, I'd have to muck around more with these because it's cutting a lot of volume down. I don't really want to edit, manipulate it too much because I want you to hear the rawness of just what it is being plugged on and played. Definitely too quiet. Hard to really tell what's going on there. Got some thrash. What's thrash? That's all right. All right, so before we just go, let's chuck it back on Destruction 4. So let's add a gate in. Let's do just a quick cleanup of this. Because that's sounding all right, but we've got high pass, low passes, drivers smashing. It's coming through the pre, mix is pretty high. Let's see if we can just take out a little bit of bass, see what happens if we add a little bit of mids and treble to it. So those low notes are getting just a little bit buried, so drive back the bass a bit. Probably the subs might help dragging those back a bit. Yeah, not too bad. Let's see if we can just clean up just a little bit more. Bring back that and mix a bit. That's exactly what I was referring to before. Now we've pulled back the mix a little bit. We've lost the overbearingness and really brought in more of the rich dynamic tones that the amp actually brings to our overall sound. I don't mind that at all. So now it's time for a bit of a jam. So I'm going to leave this here. I set up a quick tune, which you can see in the background here, ready to go. Because I'm capturing this all pretty much live, so to speak, there's no, I normally play to clicks to keep it in, but I'm not going to do that because that would really annoy everyone listening to it. So what I've done is I've just given myself a couple of count-ins with the drums, and then I'm going to go for it. So let's see how good my timing is to get it spot on. If I'm a little bit late, I'm a little bit late. That's all right. So let's do the jam, and then we'll have a chat about it afterwards. All right, here we go. Missed it. Don't know why I'm recording it either, it's catching live. Give me a bit more volume, because that was the issue, I couldn't hear it properly, of course. So there we have it, the Duality. Sometimes I'll do my final thoughts just sitting here instead of resetting everything up. I'll bring it up just as a reference, make sure I don't forget anything. Firstly, very impressed. Very cool. Now I know we're only using, I'll actually disengage that because otherwise you can hear a lot of that during it and that's not going to be fun for anyone. So there we are, all nice and clean. Very, from what the quick speed tour that I gave for this one, seemed very straightforward. I really like the chain, how you've got the pre-effects before it, which you can set to either pre or post, which is at the very start. So when you're visualizing the chain, it's very simple and straightforward, which is cool. I like that. The 3 different amp modes were different enough where if you were really homing in on your tone, yeah, you definitely got lots of really cool options there. You got plenty of different type of modes you can add to it, where for example like pedals or different type of effects to chuck before it, which is cool. I mean, there's heaps I can really talk. The crunch aspect is cool in the sub. I like how they do that to really push the bass aspect to it and the bass characteristics. The cabs, haven't mucked around much with bass cabs, as in I've used a lot of analog, as in real gear bass cabs before, but I haven't delved much into IR cabs for bass. So this has really kind of inspired me to delve a little bit more into it to see what different characteristics you can get for it. And the effects, how you've got 6 different ones to choose from, and 4 different slots you can use for them. I think that's really cool. And as I mentioned before, having a chorus there, I think is a real big plus for a bass effects plugin. And it's kind of all in one as well, which is really neat. So instead of you manually needing to chain it and to muck around, they've just got it all there. So they've actually done really, really well with it. Yeah, my friend Nick Leonard, who's got his own YouTube channel, recommended this for me to give this a shot. And well, thank you very much for the recommendation, because yeah, this has been a really cool adventure. And yeah, I'd be keen to see what it's like delving in from scratch. No presets, no nothing, having everything blank and then seeing what you can come up with and how far you can actually push it. Because yeah, there's a lot of options there. And the gate too, the gate worked out really, really well. I liked the gate, cleaned it up nicely, and it wasn't too, from what I could hear in this room and that, hopefully it's the same when I listen back to edit it, but it didn't take too long to actually close the signal after I stopped playing too. So there wasn't this whoosh of hiss that normally comes through sometimes with weaker gates, where after you play, finish playing the actual note, you hear this shh, and it's like the delay in closing it. This actually closed it pretty quickly. Not crazy snappy like a lot of gates can, but it definitely was super easy to put in there without me needing to feel like I need to actually edit the WAV file. Not that I can, because I didn't capture anything, because I just captured it all live. But if I was to do a recording where I did capture a WAV file, I don't feel like I need to edit much of it if I've got this running through there. So before I do wrap up my final thoughts, one cool thing about this is, and I can talk for a long time about this type of stuff, but as a quick thought, if you're running a DI, which I am right now, as in this is just running straight into my mixing desk and straight in here, and that is it. And if you did capture this, this is great because it's powerful enough and got everything enough where you can alter everything post-recording, which is really, really cool. Instead of chucking it through different amps and different other effects, trying to capture multiple things to make sure you've captured it all to see how it sounds, they've got a lot of it, or the majority of it right there, which is really, really cool and really simple. So even if you've got, which I do, I've got old recordings that I do have just straight DI bass. So it's really cool to know that I can just add this straight onto it and pick up from there and not have to worry about bringing in other bass players or whoever the original bass player was for whatever projects to actually do the recording and sit through it again. That's really, really cool. I like that. This stuff might be pretty obvious to state out if you have dealt with any of these VST plugins, but some plugins have their strengths and weaknesses, and you can't actually do that. So the fact that this one can, I think, is definitely worth mentioning. So there it is, a quick tour and a quick babble about the Duality Bass Studio, it's called. Well, that makes more sense. It's called, I just saw it up there, the Bass Studio, because it definitely looks like a full studio setup all in one big hit. So yeah, really cool, and I'm happy to share this with everyone, like I am normally with all my stuff. This cost me $10. I saw it on sale and just went, it was recommended by a friend, so I'll grab it now while it's $10. I definitely reckon I'm getting my bang for my buck with this one, because it seems like a lot more than $10 worth of stuff in there. So that is an absolute steal in that regards. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy all my videos actually, but especially this one. And for any bass players out there who prefer I don't use a pick and use my fingers, I am very sorry. I will apologise for that. It's just easier to get a cleaner and crisper sound me using an actual pick rather than my fingers. Because a few times I have just used my fingers to play, people have complained saying I'm not strong enough and should be using a pick anyway. Sometimes you just can't win on the internet, but most of the time we do. So thank you very much for joining me for this video and all my other ones. It was great having this conversation and running through this, and I absolutely and thoroughly look forward to chatting with you next time. And until next time, please stay safe.